with a balloon of 1.5 mil. Do we know how to calculate present value of an annuity? Yes. We have two things. Template for present value of an annuity, template for a future value of an annuity. Okay, let's solve the first problem. How much money do I need in my account? During retirement, I'm going to earn 0.15% a month. Sorry. For 300 months. Yeah, 25. And I want $5,000. And I want 1.5. That means I need $1.76 million in my account at the time I retire. So we solved the first part of the puzzle. Now I'm going to ask myself the question, how much do I need to save a month to have that money in my account after 40 years? That's not my target value for future. So I'm going to copy that number. Right click, paste the values. That's my target. I know certain things. My period rate is going to be 0.75%. I'm going to invest for 480 months, and I'm starting with 10,000. So what should be that monthly investment to give me 1.763 at the end of 40 years? Again, we know one thing, we know how to do goal seeking. I want to make the difference between my target and actual future value, which means value after 40 years of investing at that rate, to 0 by changing the only thing I don't know. Turns out the answer is a little bit less than $300. When I posed this problem, you thought it was incredibly complex, right? It is, but thinking about it mathematically made it very simple. Did I do more than 5 clicks? That's it. Why? Because I reduced it to component pieces. In order to figure out how much I need to save, I need to figure out how much I need to have at the end. Well, that's given to me by my desires. $500, $5,000 a month, 1.5 mil at the end. That's the present value part. So that's what I need. Once I know what I need, I'm asking a simple question. What is the payment that's going to give me that? So then you can change around how much your grandkids are going to get, how much you want. Maybe you're going to say, with all of them, they can borrow. Maybe Biden is going to forgive their loans. So you want $10,000. And you want to leave him only 100,000. Okay. Or you leave him nothing. Let him suffer. That's my target. I'll make that 0. Done. But then, additional things you want to do. We could make this problem more complicated. In fact, when you do real retirement planning, In a lot of cases, your clients have income streams that are growing all the time. You know, you make a lot more money 5 years into the job than when you start. You can actually build up growth into that savings stuff. You can even have some growth in your retirement needs. You know, the healthcare needs you have are a lot more when you're 85 or 60. You know, you can even do lump sum payments in the middle, whatever. All of those have the same structure. Once you have templates for that future and present, you're done. Figure out how much money you need when you retire, and what do you need to do to get to them. Alternatively, I may have known, okay, I know I can only save $300. What sort of a return do I need to reach my targets? Because that's going to determine what sort of risk I'm going to get. Not much, 0.8 times 12, 9.6%. Now I know what sort of risk I'm in. A lot of retirement planning people have software to do that sort of stuff. You don't need no stinking software. Showing clients this stuff from the software, you're going to lose it. But if it's in front of you, say, you get this much, it's going to be this much. You do two, one PV, one goal seat, they're going to hold on. A lot of sales, I've never been able to sell commodities. That's another job that I would shoot myself. There is nothing wrong with doing cold sales or selling commodity products. Some people are very good at it. And I had a former student, that guy knew nothing about cars, but nobody could sell cars. Because here's the thing, he communicated with the client. Give me complicated financial products, I can make these numbers dance, and by the end of 15 minutes with them, they're going to be in love with me. I can sell them. Why? Because I'm not a business owner. Clients like to see with adults, like children. I mean, if you want to take advantage of them, you can. When you go buy a car, especially a used car, what is the first question they ask? Huh? What do you mean by budget? How much you can pay a month, right? Instead of saying, what car can I sell you? Then, how can I figure out a way so that you can afford that car? Now, who's going to sell more cars? The guy who asks you your budget and gives you a crappy car just because you can only afford that much, or the guy who figures out a way for you to buy the car you want? It's that simple. And I'm a very loyal client of Subaru. I mean, I do love the car for a lot of different reasons, but one of the reasons I keep going there, they never ever asked me before they knew that I was a finance professor, what's your monthly payment budget? They said, what car do you want? That's it, done. I mean, some of them, my girlfriend at the time, we were getting a car for her. I said, okay, we talk to them first. She goes there, this is a Chevy dealer in Paris. Dan something, whatever. And she comes, here's this car, it's going to cost this much. And I said, okay, now tell me what the number is. By the way, this has nothing to do with man being better or worse than woman. Car dealers give worse prices to women because they think they're not going to buy. I come from a culture that not bargaining is considered an issue. So I start bargaining. It gives me a number, and I look at it. I said, "Is this the car?" I use the quotes. It's delivered NSFW from Pulp Fiction. I said, "Why do you think that I'm a bitch?" I said, "What?" He said, "Basically, by giving me this price, you're trying to have relations with me." And only my girlfriend can have it. If you're a Pulp Fiction fan, you know what I'm talking about. And when Samuel L. Jackson delivers that line, it's even more important. Because at that point, he said, "How do you know?" I said, "I tasted these things for a living, for God's sake." Then, they go down. But you don't have to be your client doesn't have to be a finance professor. They may not be able to add two numbers together. That's okay. You can always add it. But if all you ask is, what's your monthly payment? And you're there by definition to take advantage of it. And that guy will never come back. But then 3 years later, the used car prices were very high. I took that car, and it was an American car at 97,000 miles. Normally, it should have depreciated by close to $10,000 from where I bought it. I basically traded in by $2,000 at Subaru. I've never taken it to Chevy. And I got a new car, brand new car. I paid maybe $1,000 out of pocket. And it's a Subaru. Why? Because they treated me like an adult instead of somebody who's going to be taking advantage. But if you know what you're doing, it's always easy. And this course may be a finance course, but we'll talk about it. For today, let's stop here on, this is a weekly course. Next week, we're going to add a little bit more detail to that. We're going to allow for different compounding frequencies. For example, weekly payments, daily payments, annual payments. And we'll add growth to it. And we'll do those templates. And I'll also talk about some nice little stuff in Excel, different kind of references, some functions that we use a lot. And the week after that, we'll start with chapter 2. Until then, there's not going to be any assignments. And this spreadsheet is going to be made available to you tomorrow on Blackboard.